Hey there everyone, TC here for another fun hiking adventure out in the woods. I'm here with Nikki behind me, and today we're in the Arcadia Management Area in Rhode Island, off of 165, off of the Frosty Hollow Road. Frosty Hollow Pond is where we parked today, and I had a viewer actually tell me about this spot to go check out. There's apparently an old camp that has been abandoned since the 70s, buried out here in the woods. So this adventure will include two of the things that I enjoy the most, which is hiking and finding cool things out in the woods. So like most of my other trail videos, I'll have this whole hike in time warp, and I'll stop and talk at the interesting places, and hopefully we'll find some cool things out here at this abandoned camp if we run across it. And just like any of my other normal trail videos, there'll be chapters, so if you don't want to watch the whole thing, you want to skip through the just the interesting spots, you can. But should be fun today. Beautiful out here today. We're on the shelter trail now. A little bit of information about the camp that we're gonna hopefully run across today. It was built as a reclamation project during the 30s to put people back to work, and it was built as a place for the average, normal, everyday American to go camping, have vacation, and not have to spend a ton of money or have a hard time accessing it. The camp ran from the 1930s when it was built to sometime in the late 70s when it was abandoned. And we're out here to try to find it today, along with hiking the shelter trail. So, should be fun. So I've only hiked just a little ways in the woods so far, but we've already run across the Frosty Hollow camping area. It's kind of a nice little spot to camp. I'm sure like most other spots here in Rhode Island and Connecticut, you probably have to reserve it in order to camp here. Not sure. Yep, got a nice little shelter here to camp. There's picnic tables. First interesting place we've come across on the trail so far. There's a little outhouse here, and we're going to keep following the shelter trail, and hopefully we'll run across that old abandoned camp. So we've done almost 2 miles here, and still no sign of the old campground, but the hike's been beautiful. Wasn't too much interesting things to see, so that's all on time warp that we just did. It's beautiful pine forest to hike through. Nothing too strenuous, but we're gonna follow some unmarked trails now that I see on the map that I have here, and make a big loop out of it and see if we get lucky and actually find anything. So we've been following the shelter trail. We walked about 2 miles and came out to this road. This is Farm Road here. We came out from this field right here. There's a river we're gonna cross up ahead. I think it might be the Wood River, but I'm not totally sure. I can look at the map, confirm that. Now, I thought the camp we were looking for was in these patches of wood. This patch of wood's over here. So we actually just did a huge loop back there. Did not find nothing. So we're going to continue down the shelter trail on the other side of the bridge here, on the other side of the river. And according to the map, there's another dirt road that dead ends out there. And I'm really hoping that that's where this this abandoned camp is. Nice. So this is not the Wood River. This is the Flat River. So we're crossing over the Flat River and back down on the shelter trail. Keep my fingers crossed that we find the old camp. So we found our first piece of wreckage from the old camp right here behind me, right on the shelter trail. This is just the first thing that we've come across, very first thing we've come across. I see other things off in the distance, it looks like. Not sure what they're going to be, but this should be interesting. Now, this camp was abandoned in the 70s, so as you can see what 40 years of decay does to something. It's not really intact anymore, but it's very cool. Very curious about other stuff. I see another building over there through the woods. I see another one there. This is going to be fun. This is what we came out here for. We're at about 3 miles, a little over 3 miles to get to this point, minus this. Minus the stuff that we backtracked and stuff because I was an idiot, thought it was somewhere else. But boy, this is definitely interesting. There's not much left of this cabin, but these over here are still standing. Let's go check these out. Oh, this one's actually pretty good shape right here. This is pretty cool. I'm very excited that we actually found this today. Very interesting.
cool. It's a really cool place.
So I decided to take the risk and come inside the cabin here. Not something I would recommend for everyone, but I don't think it's that dangerous. But you never know. But it's amazing how intact this cabin is. It's resisted the test of time a little bit. But you had these things here, and there probably would have been a latch up on top of this, so you could open these up, you know, get air through. There must have been screens or windows on here, and you close these at night, go to sleep. But you know, there were racks here. There must have been probably a bed here. Imagine there was a bed on this side and a bed on this side, and you had some racks here for your stuff, your personal belongings. But this cabin, for as old as it is in quite amazing shape for sitting out here for 40 years. But there's all kinds of these little things here that would lift up. You know, you can't really, this cabin is not very good shape anymore, obviously, but we'll move on to other cabins here. Now there's another one right here. It's almost completely collapsed. So this cabin looks to be set up similar to the smaller cabin I was just in. You have the two racks there for your stuff. And there might have been 4 beds in this one. Very interesting. This is cool. This is a cool find out in the woods. So my wife just made an interesting discovery. You have this piece of roof here that's on the ground, and you can see right here on the building where it stood, and you have some supports here where there probably was a deck that came out a little bit, and then this piece of roof would have sat over that, gave you a little overhang. It's pretty cool. It'd be really cool to find some pictures of this from the 70s if there is any. Like I said, it's hard to find information about this place online. I could not confirm whether this was a Boy Scout camp or not, but I can say from what I read that seemed credible is this was a camp built by FDR in the 30s to put people back to work and to give the average American a cheap place to vacation that lived in the area. Not much left of this cabin. This is building 4 or 5 now that we've found. Alright, so we're back on the shelter trail, moving further down here. And this is where we're going to stop on the shelter trail today, because our main goal was to hike out to the old camp, check it out. We're coming up on some foundations here. This might have been the center of the camp. There's definitely a building here. Not totally sure what it was. And then there was another building here. Big fireplace and stuff. I would say this would probably, oh, there is a foundation right here. We got some foundations out here, so there must have been a lodge here, big fireplace and stuff. So this must have been the center of camp. You had a big building here. I'm not sure if these are maybe bathhouses. That kind of looks like that might have been what those were. You got the fireplace here, which would have been the big lodge probably in the center of this place. It's quite a grandiose fireplace. The building is since long gone. Just some foundational pieces left from where it was standing. And then up here through the woods, I can see the old water tower. There's also another cabin here that's still standing. So here is the old water tower. Big foundational pieces. I'm not sure exactly what they would have held as maybe decking around this. Obviously, it's been out here a long time. These trees are huge now. But the tower no longer has any water in it, I'm sure. Quite the water tower. Hard to see it through the trees. This is cool. So here's another cabin that's still standing. This one actually had a skylight in it. Oh, this isn't a cabin at all. This is this looks like a pump house. Oh, that's pretty amazing. So this must have been an old pump house, but it must have pumped water up out of the ground to put into the water tank. Very cool. So this is an old, basically an old well house. I don't know how solid these stairs are. Taking a risk going down here, but whatever. This is very cool.
It's pretty neat.
It is neat. Oh, look at that, it still works. Very cool.
Bye-bye now.
This is very neat. Hopefully the stairs don't give out on my way back up here. Very cool.
Looks like it was
So we're continuing down the shelter trail just a little bit further, see if we can find any more cabins, things in the woods. Now this looks like the road that would have came into this place. So if we're gonna find any more cabins, this might be the way to go. Not sure what this was, but there's a hole in the ground here with concrete. Wonder if this was an outhouse. Maybe this was an outhouse pit. I don't know. Interesting. Hard to tell. So me and Nikki are no longer on the shelter trail. We're exploring some of the other unmarked trails around the camp. And I found something that looked like an old road, so we followed it. And we come across this whole other area of the camp. There's some buildings standing. You got this fireplace out here in the woods. It's a whole nother spot. Must have been some other lodge right here. This fireplace isn't quite as impressive as the other one. But there was definitely building here. You can see the pieces of foundation and stuff on the ground here. We got a collapsed building just behind me here. Another building here. Another building still standing here. Another building I can see back there, and another building in the woods right there. This is not that small of a site, since this is the second area now with a whole bunch of buildings around it. It's very cool. Yep. Look, this one even had a fireplace.
Oh yeah, it did. That's a bit, it was a little bit bigger, so maybe it was a home in there.
So this one right here, which is pretty much gone, had its own fireplace. Cool. Looks like it might have even had water piped into it from the water tank that we saw. This looks like a water line. And this looks like a chimney. Very cool. Not too much of it left. Although, porcelain, I see porcelain here. Porcelain, so this was not a cabin at all. This, which I'm not going to stand on because I don't know if this is safe or not. This is a bathhouse. So I don't know if it was just for toilets, but there's pieces of porcelain here. All right, there's a hole. There's a hole right there. Probably not safe to stand on. Who the hell knows? Last thing I want to do is fall into an outhouse pit. This looks like some sort of chimney. Wasn't for a fireplace. It was for a furnace. So this is definitely a bathhouse. They would have had the furnace here inside this room to heat the water. You had the line running over the top, and in here you would have been able to shower, use the bathroom, do your thing. There's a pipe at the end now, I see, sticking up. That must have been the stink pipe. It's a very cool site. There's another pit over here. Very similar to the one I found on the side of the road. There's another cabin right here in the woods. Right down here. Very cool. But I must say this spot is definitely intriguing, very interesting, very cool to explore. So this cabin is completely fallen in on itself. All that's left is the roof. Not much left of it, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell what this one was for, but I'm assuming this was probably just a normal cabin. There's even more down here as we keep going.
That one's completely gone.
Yeah, this one's completely gone as well. But boy, this site just keeps going and going. It's very cool, very interesting.
This one's kind of intact.
Yeah, no, this one's still intact a little bit. Go check out this one real quick. And there's another one over here. There's got to be well over a dozen buildings here that we've found so far. This is quite a substantial camp. Really nothing left of this one as well. Most of these buildings are collapsed, but there's a few that are intact, which is cool. Makes it fun to explore. And I'm thinking this is it. So this has been an awesome hike today out on the Shelter Trail in Arcadia Management Area in Rhode Island. Right off 165, we parked off Frosty Hollow Road and hiked our way in here on the Shelter Trail to find the old abandoned camp that's out here in the woods of Rhode Island, buried out here in Arcadia, and we found it. It's been fun exploring it. If you've enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe. Until next time.